Welcome back. Today we're stepping into some shadows. We're going to be looking at the kinds of secrets families keep buried, the lies they tell, and, well, the truths that eventually, terrifyingly, come out. These aren't just stories you hear. They're real accounts, firsthand.
Yeah, exactly. Lives completely changed by things hidden in the past. It really forces you to rethink everything you thought you knew about the people closest to you.
Right.
And for this deep dive, we've gathered some intensely personal narratives. We'll be exploring, I think it's five distinct but equally chilling accounts. People who stumbled upon or lived through some really shocking family revelations.
We'll see how these secrets just twist relationships, change who people are, and, demand a total rewrite of their history. Okay, so let's unpack this. We're talking abduction, murder, hidden lives, the heavy price of finding out the truth. Get ready, because these aren't just scary stories, they're real. So, our first one. It's a recollection from someone about their childhood best friend, Julie. This was in a small, kind of poor town in Missouri.
Okay.
The narrator was 10, feeling pretty lonely. Parents worked a lot. And then Julie and her family move in next door. It felt like, a miracle. Finally, a friend.
Fills that void.
Exactly. But right away, there were things.
Yeah. This is where those little details start to stand out later, isn't it? The narrator mentions Julie's parents were very nice, but strange.
Right.
And intensely religious, like spending more time studying the Bible than anyone they knew.
Yeah.
Plus, Julie was homeschooled.
Which the narrator just thought was peculiar back then.
Exactly. But looking back, those things, homeschooling, extreme religious devotion, they can really isolate a child, can't they? It sort of builds a wall around the family. Seems innocuous, but...
Yeah. And then, the Friday morning, flashing lights, police cars everywhere, right next door at Julie's house.
Oh, wow.
The narrator's parents did the whole don't worry thing, but, a kid's mind just goes to the worst places.
Of course.
So after school, the narrator runs home, pounding on Julie's door, just desperate. But nothing, no answer. The truth came out later. The narrator's mom talked to an FBI agent, Julie. She'd been abducted. Taken from a Walmart in Oklahoma when she was only 4.
4 years old.
Yeah. And the FBI had been looking for her for 6 years.
6 years. And the people who took her supposed parents, what was their story? The motive there is just chillingly complex.
It is. Years later, the narrator found an old newspaper article. The couple, Julie's abductors, they had lost their own daughter. A hit and run.
Oh, no.
And the husband apparently took Julie in this incredibly misguided attempt to stop his wife from killing herself out of grief.
Wow. So they raised her as their own, trying to give her love, but it's built on this horrific act. It really makes you question how grief can just warp people's actions so drastically, believing they're acting out of love or desperation, maybe?
Yeah, a desperate form of it. It's unbelievable. And fast forward 20 years from then, Julie actually gets in touch with the narrator.
No way. After all that time.
Yeah. Shocking, but also pleasing, the narrator said. So now there's this hope for a reunion, and you can only imagine the story Julie has to tell about those years.
Unbelievable.
The narrator ends with this warning, though, a chilling one for parents. Always keep your children in sight, because evil can be anywhere. Just takes a second.
A lapse in concentration and everything changes.
Okay, so from a stolen childhood, we shift to something else. A secret that completely changes how someone saw their own grandmother.
The hidden past within the family itself.
Exactly. The narrator saw her as this, cookie-cutter, stereotypical old nice woman, maybe a bit boring even.
The kind you'd never suspect had a dark secret.
Right. And the way it came out is interesting, too. It was during that massive freeze in Texas, 2021. Power out, family trapped inside. They started telling scary stories.
Setting the mood.
Yeah. And the narrator jokingly says something about their dad's mom, the grandmother, being mad about something trivial. And the dad just snaps back, she didn't have any room to talk.
Ooh, that's the hook. That one line.
Totally. Ignites the curiosity. What didn't she have room to talk about?
And this really hits on that idea, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How much of our family history is built on silence, on things deliberately left unsaid?
For sure. So the story goes back to 1968, Indiana. The grandmother is 16. She's the daughter of a really strict preacher.
Okay.
And she falls hard for this guy, Daryl Mitchell. He's 20, a bit of a hoodlum, has a criminal record.
Oh boy. Preacher's daughter and the bad boy. Classic, but it won't end well with her parents.
Absolutely forbidden. Horrified parents, but, teenagers. They keep seeing each other secretly. Then they hatch this plan. a desperate one, they decide to elope, run away.
Towards Canada, right? Thinking they can just disappear.
Yeah. Daryl picks her up from school a few blocks away so no one sees, and they just drive, aiming for Canada, thinking they'll be long gone before anyone notices.
But it spirals so fast. This is where the romantic defiance turns into real tragedy.
It does. The school calls home when she misses classes. Parents panic, call the police. Statewide alert goes out.
And then the encounter with law enforcement.
Yeah. The next day, Illinois. Daryl shoots and kills a highway patrolman who tries to pull them over.
God. Kills him.
Kills him. Then there's a chase. Less than an hour later, Daryl crashes the car into a ditch. There's a shootout. He's killed.
And the grandmother.
Miraculously. Just scratched up. Physically, anyway.
So how does she explain this? A dead cop? Her boyfriend dead in a shootout?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting and maybe disturbing. She claims she was taken against her will. Kidnapped.
And people bought it.
It seems so. You have to remember the time, late 60s. The narrator mentions this view of women being sort of powerless against these men. Maybe that played into it.
So that narrative saved her.
Pretty much. She only got a short probation term. Then she moves away to Dallas, starts completely fresh, new life, new identity. Nobody knows her past.
Oh.
So the narrator is just floored. Their sweet, curse word hating grandmother was involved in a cop killing. It just shatters everything. A testament to the hidden lives people lead.
Absolutely. And her ability to just erase that chapter, build a new persona. It says a lot about how social views can shape outcomes.
Right.
Right. She used the assumptions of the time to get a second chance.
A drastically different second chance than Daryl got.
No kidding. It makes you think about justice and how context dependent it can be.
Okay, moving to our next story. This one is incredibly tough. It's about the narrator's best friend, Kyle, and the devastating long-term effects of family abuse.
This is a heavy one.
Yeah. From the outside, Kyle's home life seemed okay, even awesome, to the narrator initially. Parents were university professors, very liberal in their parenting, left Kyle and his older brother, Casey, to pretty much raise themselves.
That freedom can be deceptive, though.
Totally. It masked a prison, really, because of the older brother, Casey.
This is where the parental approach fails, isn't it? Mm-hmm. The narrator started seeing Kyle with black eyes, bruises.
Yeah, frequently.
And it wasn't school fights. It was Casey attacking Kyle out of nowhere, completely unprovoked.
Just brutal. And the parents' reaction?
Dismissive. Just boys will be boys. A complete failure to intervene.
Which is so dangerous.
It leaves these deep psychological scars. The abuse goes unchecked, and the victim is left trying to cope in whatever way they can.
And Kyle's way of coping was, well, it was disturbing, too. He'd pick fights at school with the biggest kids he could find.
Trying to regain control.
Yeah.
Or maybe externalize the pain.
Maybe. He'd curse them out, mock them until they fought. And the narrator says, win or lose, Kyle always walked away with this weird smile. Like he'd achieved something. It was this other side of him.
Wow.
Things seemed to get better when they were 15. Casey went off to college.
A reprieve.
A huge one. Kyle changed. Fight stopped. Grades went up. He seemed happier. But then, Christmas break, Casey came home.
Oh, no.
And he'd been drinking. On December 27th, Kyle calls the narrator, Casey. Casey had fallen down the stairs. Yeah. He was in a coma. Doctors didn't expect him to recover much function. Severe brain damage predicted. Kyle, despite everything, was devastated.
And Casey did survive, but severely disabled, right?
Yeah. Wheelchair, couldn't communicate, needed constant care. His life effectively was over.
This is where long-term trauma and maybe an instant reaction collide with just devastating results.
Exactly. Years later, Kyle's drunk. They're sitting on those same stairs where Casey fell, and Kyle confesses.
What does he say?
You know I pushed him.
Oh my God.
He said it wasn't planned. Casey came towards him, maybe aggressively, maybe just to talk, it's unclear. But all that pain, all those years of abuse just rushed back in an instant.
And he reacted.
He just pushed him away. Casey was drunk, lost his balance, and fell down the stairs. It was the culmination of years of torment exploding.
A single push, fueled by years of pain, changed everything.
Yeah, and the narrator is left with this terrible knowledge. Kyle was like a brother, but Casey's life was ruined.
What a burden. What did the narrator do?
Eventually, they sent Kyle a text, basically. You're safe from me. I won't tell anyone, but we can't talk anymore. You need help before you kill someone.
Wow. Setting a boundary, but keeping the secret.
Kept it for 4 years. Until Kyle passed away. Only then did the narrator reveal the truth.
It just makes you think about the secrets we keep for others, the weight of that.
The sheer weight. Our next story is about a different kind of burden. an unconfessed sin haunting someone who seems to have turned their life around.
Okay.
This is a guy, 37 years old, successful business owner. He's been sober for 12 years, engaged to a woman he loves. Seems like he has it all together now.
But there's a but.
A huge one. His past is steeped in alcoholism, started sneaking drinks at 15, escalated quickly, driving drunk became normal. He had 2 accidents before the big one, got lucky, just probation, an ignition interlock device on his car. His first marriage failed because of the drinking.
This really highlights the deceptive power of addiction, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And maybe how easily it can be enabled, even unintentionally. He got through those first accidents without major consequences, which perhaps reinforced the behavior.
Possibly. Then came the night that changed everything. He was 24, partying with friends. He convinces them he's okay to drive.
Even though he wasn't.
Not even close. He passed out at the wheel, crashed head-on into another car.
Oh, God.
The other driver, a 22-year-old mother, and her 19-month-old baby.
No.
Both killed instantly. He woke up in a jail cell, relatively okay physically, but realizing he was, in his words, a double murderer.
Unimaginable. That realization.
It was his rock bottom. He says he promised God right there he'd never drink again.
And did he stick to it?
Absolutely. He took a plea deal 9 years, served 6 in prison. He threw himself into rehab programs, AA, everything. Endured beatings in prison. His wife divorced him while he was inside, but he never broke his sobriety.
He really tried to rebuild, to atone.
Completely. Got out, built a business, stayed sober, sponsors others in AA, found faith, met his fiancée through their church.
So he's built this whole new life based on honesty, recovery.
Almost entirely.
Yeah.
He's told her about the alcoholism, the prison time, pretty much everything, except why he went to prison. He hasn't told her about the fatal accident, the 2 lives lost.
And now they're getting married.
Exactly. And the weight of this secret is crushing him. He wants complete honesty, feels she deserves it, but he's terrified, utterly terrified she'll leave him if she knows the full truth.
That's an incredible moral conflict, isn't it? The desire for truth versus the fear of losing everything you've painstakingly rebuilt.
Yeah.
Everything built on that love.
He's actually asking strangers online for advice. He doesn't know what to do. Confess and risk it all. Or live with the silence, which feels like its own betrayal.
What would you do if you were him or her? Is it ever too late for that kind of truth? Or does the lie itself poison the relationship anyway?
It's a question with no easy answer. It really forces you to think about forgiveness, redemption, and the limits of both. Okay, for our final story. This one is chilling in a different way. It's suspicion turning into conviction. A narrator convinced their father was murdered.
And the suspect is close.
Very close. Their stepmother, Laura.
Okay, set the scene.
The narrator's parents were high school sweethearts. Happy marriage, good life, until the mother got cancer and passed away when she was only 42. Devastating for the father.
Totally. He was lost, joined a grief support group, and that's where he met Laura.
Finding comfort, or so it seemed.
Right. Less than a year later, they were married. Everyone thought he had found happiness again, but the narrator started digging into Laura's past later on.
And what did they find? This is often where the cracks appear.
Big cracks. Laura's background was, well, unsettling. Grew up without a dad, raised by an alcoholic mother who was always scheming to marry rich.
A pattern established early.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Laura apparently followed suit, worked as a dancer, dropped out of college because of drink and drugs, dated a string of wealthy older men, often ending when the money ran out or things got complicated.
So a history of potentially predatory relationships.
Looks that way. Her first marriage was to a rich guy who supposedly saved her from that life.
Okay.
But then he died in a car accident. And here's the kicker. They were apparently talking about divorce at the time.
Oof. Suspicious timing, to say the least.
The narrator mentions many were suspicious, but police ruled it an accident.
Can be. Very. So Laura eventually burns through his money. Partying, one-note stands, according to the narrator. And then she meets the narrator's father.
Who's grieving, lonely, and financially stable.
Exactly. Prime target, if you look at it cynically. He falls for her, moves her in quickly, buys her expensive things, they get married, then they buy this huge, expensive lake house.
Stretching the finances, I bet.
Big time. The father has to work extra hours just to cover it, which means he's away more often.
Creating an opportunity.
For Laura, she starts an affair with a neighbor. A single 35-year-old millionaire.
Of course, so the father finds out.
He does, absolutely crushed. He moves out, starts divorce proceedings. The plan is to sell the expensive lake house as part of the settlement.
So Laura stands to lose the house. the lifestyle. That's a powerful motive right there, isn't it? It really shows how vulnerability can be exploited.
It seems so, because 1 month before the divorce hearing, the father is found dead.
Oh.
Apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Suicide.
That's what the police ruled it. And part of their reasoning, tragically, was the narrator mentioning a conversation where their dad seemed downcast weeks before, something the narrator now deeply regrets saying.
Oh, that's brutal. Using the child's words against the possibility of foul play.
But Laura's behavior afterward, extremely suspicious.
How so?
Doesn't attend the funeral, doesn't contact the grieving family for over a month. When they finally confront her, she insists the father often talked about suicide.
Which the narrator had never heard him do.
Never. Not once in their entire life. It felt like she was pushing a narrative, a convenient narrative.
Especially since, as the widow,
She inherits everything, including the lake house that was supposed to be sold, and she gets to keep her millionaire lover, who, get this, moves in with her shortly after.
moves into the house that was supposed to be sold. Why do that unless you knew it wasn't going to be sold?
Exactly the narrator's thought. It all clicks into place. The motive, the opportunity, the suspicious behavior, the convenient death.
It paints a very consistent, very chilling picture. Calculated actions, not just tragic coincidences.
The narrator hired a private investigator, found some very damning information, apparently.
Yeah, it underscores how easily crimes, especially potential murders staged as suicides or accidents, can be missed if assumptions are made too quickly or investigations aren't thorough. Often, it's the family pushing back that reopens things.
And that's what's happening now. The narrator is taking the PI's file to the police, demanding they reopen the case. They're seeking justice for their father, convinced Laura is a murdering witch.
Wow.
It's a stark reminder to look beyond the surface, to question everything, especially when the stakes are so high.
Wow. Okay, so just processing all of that, each story is just a powerful reminder, isn't it? That underneath lives that look normal, there can be these unbelievable secrets waiting.
Waiting to shatter everything. It makes you really question how well you can ever truly know someone, even family.
And these deep dives from, the stolen child to the hidden past of a grandmother, the tragic consequence of abuse, the burden of an unconfessed crime, and this potential murder. They all show the past isn't really buried, is it?
No.
It finds a way out, sometimes with absolutely devastating results, forcing people to face the darkest parts of humanity, sometimes in the people they trusted most.
It really does make you wonder, what secrets might be hiding in your own family, your own history, what stories are untold?
Yeah.
We're kind of left thinking about the weight of knowing these truths and the courage it must take to bring them into the light.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into some very dark family shadows.
Thanks for listening.
Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning. And hey, if you found this exploration compelling, consider liking or sharing it. Helps others find these stories too. We appreciate you tuning in.